Hey guys, this is Dan from Keller Williams Realty here with Corin Lujan. And first, a little bit of gratitude for Corin taking time out of her day to meet me down here at Starbucks. But I wanted to get this out to all of our agents because Corin had a phenomenal first year in real estate, and I think she has some really important lessons to teach not only the new people but also the veterans. So Corin, tell us a little bit about your first year in real estate. How many units did you close? What was your GCI? And where those units came from? Where did your closings actually come from?
Well, thanks for having me here, Dan. Okay, so I closed 13 transactions my first year, and when I'm going back over where they came from, honestly, eight came from open houses. 8 buyers came from open houses, and even the 3 sellers that I had came from those open houses as well. So it was fun. I did open houses almost every weekend my first year. Rain, snow, wind. So yeah, it's great.
Okay, so you had 13 closed transactions. What was your GCI for the year?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Isn't
I remember
that terrible?
it was somewhere in the $80,000 to $90,000 gross
actually,
commission income.
Gross commission income was $110,000.
Okay, so $110,000 earned in her first year, which is phenomenal. She was the single agent rookie of the year for sure, almost beat out the team rookie of the year, which they both killed it last year. With that being said, they basically doubled my numbers when I was rookie of the year like 3 years ago. So if I was in that running, I wouldn't have even been in probably the top 10 of this rookie class. That's how good they were. So moving on, walk me through open houses, Corin, because that is usually what they try to get most new agents to do first. And a lot of agents will do some open houses, but start with how many open houses you did and how many days you spent out there that you think it took you to actually get those 8 conversions into paychecks.
Okay, I did open house almost, like I said, almost every weekend. I did it Valentine's Day weekend, Easter, 4th of July. I got married last year on Memorial Day weekend. I almost did one that Saturday.
Okay, so would it be safe to say if you did one almost every weekend, did you do some, do you think 2 in a weekend?
Saturday and Sunday, I try to do, I can do two different houses, Saturday and Sunday, or I think that it worked out the best way was to do it this one house Saturday and Sunday, so both days, so people can come back and go, well, bring my family. Oh, I'll be here tomorrow. Don't worry about it. So.
Now, that's a lot of hustle, but I want to take a moment to really discuss those numbers. And I'm going to take a very, very conservative number. And if let's say she probably maybe didn't do an open house every weekend, and we're not going to count if she did 2 in one weekend. Let's just say she did an open house 40 weekends last year. That means that if she got 8 transactions, on average, it took 5 open houses in order to get that one closed deal. Now, we don't know how many people exactly she had coming through each open house, but she did a good job converting what she did with the skill level, and I'm sure as her skill level increased, she was able to probably capture and convert these leads into actual closings. So the reason why I point this out is because I want to put in the amount of hustle and how many actual open houses it took in order for her to get 8 closed transactions. Now, moving on from there, if I would say this, one of her greatest skills is conversion, and I see her convert people. It's almost something that she can do very naturally. She does it much better than I am. So, Corin, please tell us about what it takes for you to get someone in your open house and the steps that you take in order to convert that person or those people. And I know you used the F word, and that was follow-up. So tell us about that.
Lots of F words, lots of follow-up. You have your flyer, but the most important thing is you have your feedback forms where you capture their name, address, cell phone number, email if they are so inclined. I'm very soft sell with this feedback form. I said, would you mind we'd love to give the owner some feedback on your impression of the house. I don't necessarily ask for name, address. They see it here, they fill it out, great, so it depends on what kind of connection we're making, and how talkative they are with me, and if you can sense if they're going to be really serious about buying or selling or something like that, then yeah, I go for the jugular. Get
Okay.
that feedback.
So after they leave the open house, what are the next steps that you take? How many times are you calling? Are you writing them any notes? What are you exactly doing to make sure that you get back in front of those people and that they think of you when they're ready to go look at homes?
The really serious, really serious leads I get, and even not so serious, I send them a text message right after the open house. Hey, thanks for coming. If they give me their email their cell phone number, send them a text message, video text message if you're so inclined to do it. I've had raffles, so I send a video of me drawing from the raffle, and then you put them in an email, and you put them on a drip, and you follow up. And when they're ready, they contact you.
All right, follow up, and that means you keep giving them a call. Is there any other tips about doing follow up? You got text messages in there, you've got
Text message,
email.
Call. There's been people like 6 months, almost a year. Cards, I mail them cards. You kind of have to vary the follow up, not just a call all the time, not just an email. Make yourself three-dimensional.
Right. And so let's just recap really quickly what she's been telling us. One, she did a boatload of open houses. She did a lot of open houses. She did probably one, if not two, a weekend minimum. However, she also did a lot of door knocking, which she hasn't talked about that yet. So before the open house, she went out there and hustled these open houses really hard. Now, we're not going to get into that too much because she actually feels that maybe the door knocking didn't lead to as much of the results, but what it did do was bring a lot of awareness to the neighborhood and maybe brought some people into the open house and some other neighbors. So my question for her is what was the most effective tool that you had that brought people into your open houses? And so we're talking about how to get the volume of people. What did you do specifically that you felt led to the best results?
Well, the first question I always ask when people come in, walk through, is, hey, thanks for coming. How did you find the open house? And 99% of the time, my first year, was signage. Signage was key. It's so important. We do so much social media advertising and on the MLS, Realtor.com, Zillow. It's all over the place, but they came from my signs, and you got to put at least 10 every time. 10 signs out there.
All right, so she's recommending a minimum of 10 signs. Would you say you'd even put out 20 or 30 signs?
If I could. If I had that many, and if I had somebody help me, that'd be great. Otherwise, it'll take me an hour at least. So, but yeah.
Okay, so Corinne did the door knocking, she did the internet part of it, the social media, and if anything that she thinks, the one thing that brought her the best results, it was actually the signs that she placed out there, and she says a minimum of 10 signs for each open house.
Yep.
Okay, so we've talked about conversion and how you've gotten people to convert. We've done the walkthrough on the open houses. Here's my final question for her, and I didn't actually prep her for this question because we talked a little bit about what we were going to say beforehand, but I want to ask her this question on camera because I think the answer hopefully is going to be really good for everyone else. And the question is you did $110,000 GCI in your first year, which is phenomenal. That's an outstanding first year in real estate. Why did you decide to partner with me and in effect, give half of the business to me, or half of the profit? What are your thoughts on that? What's your mindset? Because you were already doing really, really well. A lot of people see teams as maybe a savior, or I don't want to lead gen. You were already doing the lead gen. So why did you make that decision?
Well, thank you for saying, 110 GCI was great, and I'm proud of what I did. Thank you for everybody's support doing that, but that's not enough. You take away, Keller, the royalty fees, taxes, and all of that, and it starts to dwindle down. And I joined you because I saw how awesome and phenomenal you were doing, And I wanted to keep going up, keep learning, and keep doing something else different and take my game to the next level like you've been doing. So, and since joining you, I capped 3 months sooner than last time I did. So I've got 6 months, about 5 months before I reset again. So how awesome is that?
And that's cool. And here's what I want to point out about that. It's not, whether or not, I was awesome or she was going to be able to make more money. I think the most important part of it, whether or not we actually succeeded as a team, was that she wanted to take her game to the next level. And mentally, it was making a decision that she wanted to learn and grow. And I think that is the most important part, because that's the mindset that is going to ensure that she's going to be a rock star. And with that being said, I have agents who sometimes do not want to partner with other agents when they have a big listing appointment coming up. They want to try to do it themselves and keep all the money. And sometimes they lose the listing appointment, and they really could have partnered with a bigger agent, given some of the commission away, and learned. And that's something that I did. Was I partnered with Ron Lane in my first year, and the investment that I made in sharing commissions with Ron has paid me back hundreds of thousands of dollars for a probably $20,000 or $30,000 commission that year. So on my part, I have to provide enough value that talent like Corin will stay partnered with me, meaning that I have to keep upping my own game, so it's a little bit of a good push and give that our relationship is here. So thanks, Corin, for coming out. Is there any other tips, advice, or anything else that you want to say to the KW World private page?
Don't give up. Keep going. It's awesome. I love it. Love my life. I'm punch drunk happy, and love what I'm doing. So don't give up.
Keep going. Those days when you don't feel like getting out of bed and doing your lead gen,
Do it.
do it. All right. Thanks, guys.